In this topic, we're just supposed to kind of answer the questions that they give us so we can understand translation a little bit. We're just taking the triangle, the really light gray one, ABC, and we're moving it left 5 units and down 6. So they give us all the vertices, which is super nice for our work. We have to give the length between A and A prime. So to find the length between A and A prime, we look at their points. So we're going to be looking at these points right here. The distance between the x's, so from -3 to 2 is 5 units. So we're going to take the square root of 5 squared plus the distance between 5 and -1 is 6 units, 6 squared. So we're just finding the distance between the x's and the y's, squaring them, and then taking the square root. And that's how we find distance between 2 points. So it's a square root of 25 plus 36, which is the square root of 61. So that's going to be between A and A prime. So we'll type in square root of 61. Now between B and B prime, we're going to look at the x's. So between 6 and 1 is 5 units. And then the distance between 2 and -4 is 6 units. So it's a square root of 61 again. I bet they're all going to be the same because they're moving the same distance. So we probably should, well, we'll do it anyway. So then the C's between 1 and -4 is 5. And between 1 and -5 is 6. So yeah, square root of 61. So those lengths are always going to be the same. That's something we can just clear up right now. Okay, we're going to do the slope from A to A prime. So when we do slope, we have m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So our x1, y1 is 2, 5. And our x2, y sub 2 is, let's see, A prime, -3, -1. So we're going to take y sub 2, so -1 minus y sub 1, which is 5, divided by x sub 2, -3, minus x sub 1, which is 2. 1 minus 5 is -6, -3 minus 2 is -5, so that's a positive 6/5. Well, we can also look that it went, wait a minute. So from A to A prime, yeah, that's positive. And we went up 6 and over 5. So if you just look at the picture too, you can see it's a positive slope. We're going up 6 and over 5. So I guess you don't really even have to do the formula. So let's look at the slope between B and B prime. Should be exactly the same thing. So here's our B to B prime. We have to go up 6 and over 5. So it's going to be 6/5. And so it's C to C prime. So we want to find the statement that is true here for our translation. All points, let's see, on the original figure moved the same distance and in the same direction. That's actually going to be the correct answer every time. This one, they're going to say they move in the same direction, but not the same distance. This says they didn't move the same distance and they did not move in the same direction. And this one says they move the same distance, but not the same direction. So we want the one where they do move the same distance and the same direction every time. So in this one, our lengths are supposed to be the same and our slopes are supposed to be the same. So let's see, we moved 4 units up and 4 units right and 1 unit up. So to find the length between x and x prime, this is the one you're going to look at, x and x prime. The difference between -7 and -3 is 4 units. So we have 4 squared plus, and then we find the distance between -2 and -1, which is 1 squared. So the square root of 17, and I'm just going to go ahead and type that in for all of my answers for the lengths. Then I want the slope between x and x sub 1, or x prime, I mean. So x to x prime, this is a positive slope, and it's up 1 and over 4. So it's up 1 over 4. So wait, that's positive, so 1/4. And I'm just going to type that in for all of them. So we want the same direction and same distance. This it says didn't, not. So it's this last one. All the points in the original figure move the same distance and in the same direction. And then we'll just do one more for practice here. We want the slope between L and L prime. So that's negative, and it's up 3 and to the left 8. So it's negative 3/8. Now, if you want to know where I got that so quickly without actually counting, is right here. So negative 3/8. And I'm going to put that in for all 3 of those answers. Okay, now we're finding the distance between L and L prime. So we look at the x's between -6 and 2, the distance is 8 units. Between 8 and 5, the distance is 3 units. So we're going to do 64 plus 9 and get the square root of 73. And we'll put that in for all 3 of those answers. And then we look for the final one is where they have all, like this one says not, so we don't want that one. This one, all points move the same distance and in the same direction. And that's the end of the lesson.